Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is Thorgiween, where we're reviewing a horror film every single day this month. And this is the finale to International Horror Week, where every single day this week, we watched a different horror film from a different country around the world. And I gotta say, this has been an amazing experience. I think this is something that we might end up doing. Not every Thorgiween, but in future Thorgiweens, we're definitely going to bring back International Horror Week, because it's allowed me to see a bunch of films that I might never have seen before, films that I've been hearing about for the longest time, finally gave me an excuse to check them out. But also, it's a great way of learning about other cultures and also kind of connecting with other cultures, because I have often said that film and television and just art forms in general are an amazing way of bonding with people across the entire planet. Because when you get right down to it, even though we all have different stories to tell, we all understand same ideas. We can all come together and appreciate similar themes, and it teaches us that we're not so different. For example, today's film taught me that no matter where you are in the world, you're capable of creating really crappy schlock. Hey, so we're talking about Mermaid, Lake of Death today. Boy, is that a title for you. Let me tell you what's up here. So today we're watching a film from Russia, and I want to do a Russian film. Not really because it's like, oh, let's watch a film from Russia. It's because I've been hearing really great stuff about Sputnik. I've been hearing amazing stuff about the horror film Sputnik. So I was like, oh, hey, that film was made in Russia. Perfect excuse to talk about on International Horror Week. But I was looking up a list of horror films from different countries, and I saw the list of films from Russia, and naturally Sputnik was listed there. But I saw this one there, Mermaid, Lake of Death. And it mentioned how it dealt with this old Russian folk tale. And I was like, oh, you know what? That actually delves into like history and Russian culture. Maybe we should check that out. And this delves into Russian culture in the way that, I don't know, the Bye Bye Man deals with American culture. Oh my God. Yeah, I wasn't kidding in that intro. You watch this and you're like, oh, wow. Everybody's able to create crap. It's entirely possible. Like, we watched the Togolosh from South Africa yesterday, and there were things in there that I was like, I can't tell if this, like, I did like that film for anybody. Just, if you didn't watch the review yesterday, just to let you know, I gave it like a B in the end. Like, I did like it. And you liked it as well, too.
Yes.
But there were things in there that I was like, I can't tell if this is a problem with the film, or if it's just that the way that they're telling stories is different than what I'm used to, and that's just like a cultural divide kind of thing. No, I can watch this one and be like, no, this is crap. This is 100% crap. I can identify crap when I look at it. Wow. Holy cow. This film. Oh, man. There was another film that I was thinking about watching called Night Watch, because I remember when that thing came out back in the 2010s, because it got released here in America. And like, it was blowing up, and one of the reasons it was blowing up in America is because the word of mouth was this was the highest grossing film in Russia ever. It was a Russian film, and it was like the opening weekend, it became the biggest grossing film in Russia ever. And I was like, oh wow, so a horror film from Russia made that much money over there, and they bring it over here. Wow, yeah, I gotta check that out. And of course, I never did. But I was thinking of watching that this week as well. Give me an opportunity to finally do that. But I was looking at reviews of it, and it was like an article writing about like how people felt about all these films when I was researching this. And one of them said, yes, it made all this money, but a lot of Russian critics also wagged their finger at it because they said that it was trying to imitate just the Hollywood brand, and it didn't feel natural to Russia. And I was like, okay, well then that doesn't feel like an appropriate thing to watch for International Horror Week. And I watched this and I was like, oh, you know what? There's no way Night Watch can be like a worse, like paying tribute to Hollywood film than this is, because this is the most like we watch some stupid American horror films. We can do that. 100% we can do that. So this film is about this guy. His name is
Roma.
Oh no, it was Ilya.
Ilya? Ilya is his friend. Roma is the main character.
Okay, I'm looking at the photos of them over there. The guy who plays Ilya, his real life headshot looks like the guy who played Roma. That's gonna be confusing. By the way, the most Russian names you will ever find in a cast of characters.
Yeah, like we
got Marina, Roma, Ilya, Olga. If your name ends in an A, you are in this film. The only name that they didn't have was Sergei. Was the like that is the only stereotypical Russian name that was not in this cast. So, Roma, he is an expert swimmer. And he is competing. He's got his big meet coming up, but he's also been engaged to Marina. And Marina, the film opens up with Roma trying to teach Marina how to swim. And immediately you have written the end of this film in your brain from that little bit of information. But they go out there and his friend...
By the way, the bitter irony of naming someone Marina who can't swim.
I didn't even think about that. That's really good. That's really good. But yeah, so Ilya is his friend, and Ilya is like... I'm going to say the bad boy friend. I don't want to say he's the asshole friend. I don't want to say he's like the douchebag friend.
Like, if this was an anime, he'd be the rival, you know?
Yes, he definitely would be.
Yes.
If this was a swimming sports anime, he would be the rival. But no, like, he's his friend, but he's got like a leather jacket fused to his body. That's the best way that I can sum this dude up. He takes him out for a bachelor party, and they go to the cabin that his family used to own. They still own it, I guess, but no one lives there anymore. No one's gone there in a long time for reasons that you will understand later. But they go there, and he brings in these strippers, and Roma's just like, no, I'm too pure for that. I only have eyes for Marina. I shan't be looking at that. You got the reference? Yeah. So, he leaves the party, and he goes out to the dock, and there, suddenly, this mysterious girl appears who only says, "Do you love me?" That's all she can say. And he gets, like, hypnotized by her. And then we cut to, he is found on the lake the next morning. And they pull him back. He goes home to Marina. And he finds this comb, this old wooden comb. And Marina starts looking at it, like, oh, this is a little bit odd. I don't know what this is. And she shows it to...
her older sister?
No. It's Roma's older sister.
Oh, yes, that's right.
It's Roma's older sister. She shows it
like
to...
her sister-in-law,
yes.
Basically.
Shows it to Olga. That's her name. And she is Roma's older sister. And she sees it like it's through a video call. And she takes a photo of it. And then immediately, like, her mug cracks and water starts leaking everywhere. And I will just say this right now. If you go into this film not having to pee, you will definitely have to by the end of it.
I mean...
There is so much running water in this film.
I mean, to be fair, the title, Mermaid, Lake of Death, is going to be a fuck ton of water.
It's definitely intentional, but it's not like, okay, just shots of, like, this lake or anything. No. Faucets just keep turning themselves on. It's constantly raining. Your mug is going to be constantly spilling. Like, anytime they can get a shot of water, they're going to do it. Like, it feels like they just wanted to keep mentioning water as well, because there's a moment in which they get to, like, the big swim meet, and his coach is there, and you've already got, like, a big, swimming pool full of water there, but then it follows the instructor as he goes over to, like, the judges and says, hey, can I get a bottle of water? Sure, which one do you want? They're holding up in, like, front of the camera and everything. And I know that doesn't seem like much. There's multiple other times where people just ask for water. You have to go out and get water. Let me get you some water. I'm going to give you some water. Like,
this movie wants you to hydrate.
Yeah. This is Stay Hydrated, the movie. But yeah, it's, again, like we said, it's about a mermaid. You're going to put water imagery in there. They go so far with it. This thing, half this film is underwater almost. So... he goes to the swim meet and he starts, like, he passes out in the middle of it. And he has, like, this hallucination of being back in the lake, and the woman coming up to him asking him, do you love me? That's all she says. So they start investigating this, and they go back and they find his father, who we saw in the beginning of the film when he was a younger man.
Yeah, like, basically this movie starts off, like, in the past. Mm-hmm. Like, with the father at the cabin at the lake.
Yes.
So,
and this is why they don't go there anymore.
Yes.
But it's revealed that their mother, their father fell in love with the mermaid and became obsessed with her because that's what she does. She has a siren call to you. Like, the moment that you're, like, in her grasp, you can't think of anything else. And their mother had to sacrifice herself so that the mermaid would leave the father alone.
Right.
But they go to find the father now, all these years later, and I will just say, I don't want to be stereotypical in here, But for anybody who's watching this and you didn't know it was in Russian, because that's the thing, you can't find this film in Russian. Like, I looked around, I tried to find the regular copy of this, because you can only find it in dub. That's the only way that's available. I tried to find the original Russian audio, and the only places I could find it were on Russian streaming services. And I was like, I'm not signing up for a streaming service where I won't even be able to read the terms of services. So we're not doing that. So we're just gonna have to deal with this being in a dub. And again, that's another reason why I'm like, it kind of feels bad that the final film of International Horror Month, of International Horror Week, was one that was dubbed. I don't know. Like, nothing against dubs. Dubbing is perfectly fine. Perfectly acceptable, but when we're celebrating like international films, it felt more appropriate to watch them in, their native tongue.
Also, the dubbing in this is not good.
It's not great, and that's not even the acting.
No.
Because, listen, everybody in here is so fucking bland. Oh my god, I'm gonna get more into that later, but everybody in here is so melodramatic, and you can see the expressions on the actors, and you're like, I think the dubbers are doing an accurate job on this. But the audio mixing is not good.
Yeah, it's like there's like one specific scene where someone was in the background talking to someone in the foreground, but the way the audio was, it sounded like the person in the background was like right next to the person in the foreground, and it just felt so weird.
And the weird thing is, it's that one actor in particular. It's Ilya's character, the asshole best friend. It's his character. They had to have recorded each of these people separately. Like, this thing I think was made in like 2023 or something. Like, it was made after COVID. And I'm bringing that up because this sounds like a COVID recording where everyone had to do it in their apartments. This thing, everybody's sound levels are just slightly different. And his is the worst. Like, it is noticeably different than everyone else. What the hell was I saying? I was talking about the dubs, and I was talking about, like, something. As I mentioned, I don't want to be, like, stereotypical with any of this stuff, but you might be watching this, and it's like, if you were just listening to the dubs, and you didn't particularly know what country this was from, which would be odd considering everyone's names in here, but in the off chance that you didn't know this was in Russia, or if you, let me put it this way, if you have a stereotypical vision of Russia in your mind, which that's another reason why I like doing International Horror Month, is that it breaks a lot of stereotypes. It makes you go like, well, I thought this thing about this country, but now I'm seeing an actual film from that place. It is educating me. I see what it's like for the people in that country. Yes, I have a further understanding of this now. But if you have a stereotypical image of Russia in your mind, you will be watching this going, oh, wow, it's nothing like I thought. This is not what I thought at all. And then the dad shows up.
It's like, wow, this guy is the most Russian-looking Russian guy ever.
This guy looks like he came out of American Cold War propaganda.
Like, the only thing that was missing was a bottle of vodka in his hands.
Yeah.
Like,
this dude pops up, and he is a tortured painter with a big bushy beard and massive bags under his eyes, which the bags are there for a reason.
Yes.
The bags are there because even though his mom broke the curse, he's still been obsessed with this mermaid all these years, and he's spent all these years like just drawing the mermaid over and over again. But it's like, wow, a tortured artist with a big bushy beard living out in a shack somewhere. Oh my god, okay, wow. Like, he looks almost like, I'm not even gonna say that. But yeah, you look at it and it's just like, oh wow, I've seen caricatures, and you are, way to go, man. For anybody out there who's like, when do I see someone that looks like the exact depiction that I have of Russian people in my mind? Oh, there he is. So anyway, yeah, you meet him, and then he explains what the mermaid is. He explains, like, yes, this is the curse, this is what's been going on. And they then have to go back to the cabin to try and investigate. And Roma is getting worse. Like, Roma is deteriorating as the film goes on.
He's getting sick and pale.
Dude's turning, like, green. He's getting so sick.
Like, it's almost like he's starting to, like, look like a fish out of water. And I'm wondering if that was, like, intentional since...
I think they just want him to look, like, ill, but you kind of, like, if you want to go that route, it's understandable. You can see that. But here's the thing. What's her name? Our screen just went blank over there. My apologies. Not Olga, not Ilya.
Marina.
Marina, thank you.
Yes, the one who can't swim and has the ironic name.
Yes. But Marina, who up until now has just been the most lovey-dovey, just, yes, whatever you say, honey. Oh, you're the most wonderful. No, you smookums. No, yes, you. Like, they are like the most attached couple I've seen in any film so far this month. She now is getting like cold to him after he's like in the hospital when he passed out during the swim meet. He goes to the hospital and he wakes up there and he's like, I've been having these visions of this woman. I can't get her out of my mind. Which, by the way, he also says, not to, again, go into like Russian stereotypes on this one, but he says like, she's a young girl, barely a teenager. And all I could think was, holy shit, how rough is it for, how rough is it over in Russia for everyone? Because if that's what your like 13-year-old teenagers look like, because I looked at her like, she looks older than all of you.
Like, she looks like she's in her 20s or like everyone else. At least. Yes. Everyone else looks like they're in their teens or something like that.
Which, that's the thing. I was like, when they revealed that they're each like in their early 20s, I was like, I thought this was a high school drama. Like, when it showed the swim meets, I thought it was the high school swim team. I didn't realize, like, no, they're professional swimmers.
Or maybe America is just, maybe as Americans we're so used to seeing 20-year-olds acting as high schoolers.
As high schoolers, yes, that's what
I was wondering that too. Like,
but she pops up and he says she's barely a teenager, and I was just like, she looks like she's almost 30, dude. How old is this actress? I didn't look it up. I was like, okay, if you wanted to cast someone specifically who looked like she was a teenager, you had to make sure she wasn't the oldest looking person in this cast. Like, that is bad casting. I apologize to the actress. But
speaking of like age and bad casting, like the older sister, we thought like she was like an aunt.
Yeah. Like, she had to be a much older sister. Like, it's so weird, the aging in this film. Yeah, like, there's no sense of, like, how old someone is. Like, honestly, when she goes to talk to the dad, it's like, you could be his younger sister. Yeah, after he explains, like, I've been having these visions, she then gets, she then gets cold to him. And like, oh, I can't believe you're thinking about another woman. And then they get the explanation from the dad, and then they go to the cabin where you see him getting like physically sick and ill, and she's still like standoffish to him. They're like, all right, at the hospital I understand, but the moment you learn that there is magic involved in this, and you see the actual physical deterioration of your boyfriend, fiance, it's like, all right, you gotta drop the baggage on this one. This one, you have to admit, is not his fault. Holy cow. Yes. It is so, like, high school level drama shit in here. It is so, we watched a bunch of, like, teen CW romance shows and learned how to write from that. I am also sinking more into this couch. God damn. This couch needs to be fixed. So anyway, man, this film, and as I mentioned, we should just go ahead and talk about this right now. Marina and Ilya are the two most boring protagonists of any film we watched, definitely this week, maybe this entire month so far. They are so bland. There is nothing to them other than, I love you, I love you, I swim, I can't swim, I love you.
Do you mean Iliad or Roma?
Roma, goddammit, sorry.
Yeah, once again, Ilya is the
Ilya has a personality,
yes.
At least.
Yes, he's an asshole, but at least he has the personality.
Yes. So they are just so one note, and just like, again, this could be the dubbing, and I will fully admit, we are judging this from the dubbing, and also I will say this, I am not a subs versus dub guy. I am not one of those, like, there are all bad dubs. No, fuck that shit. Like, there's great dubs. There are amazing dub actors out there who give incredible performances. I don't know what the fuck was going on in this film. Yeah. But again, when you look at the expressions of everyone in here, they all feel flat. So I think they were just matching the tone of the actors in here.
And it's weird because usually in like dubs, the voice actors overact.
Which there were a couple moments in here in which it actually felt like the dub actors were acting more than the facial expressions were given. And I was like, I think that's just because dub actors normally do animated stuff, so they have to like match that energy.
Yeah.
And it was impossible for them to tap themselves down this much.
I feel like there were like several cuts, like, can you tone it down a bit? More. I guess that'll do.
Can you get to Ben Stein levels? That's what we need on this. it is. Again, like, I don't want to give I don't think the dub acting in here is all that good, but I'm not saying that's the actors. I think that's the best they could do with the material they had. Like, I didn't recognize a lot of the actors, but I did recognize the dad as the guy who does Dhalsim in current Street Fighter, and that's not like the only thing he's done. He's done a lot of things. That's just the one thing that's popping to my mind right now because I'm fighting game coded. But yeah, that guy, boy, I know he can act. I know he's good. And he does emote in this, but I was like, I think it's just the directing and just the source material on this, man. I ain't judging any of the actors on this one. So the film goes along and he just keeps getting worse. And again, just water imagery everywhere. They start trying to do these rituals to get the mermaid to take him back. Which, by the way, for anybody out there who's like, okay, mermaid, does she have like a tail? No, she's just like a normal person.
Honestly, she's more like a siren than a mermaid. She's a siren. Yes.
100%.
Yeah, so it's like, why is it called Mermaid? Or like,
I think it's because it is based on, like, I've read people say this is based on The Little Mermaid. Because that was a Russian story, right?
No, I think it's, Denmark? It's one of the Scandinavian...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But, like, in the northern part of Europe, yes.
But I do know for a fact, like, from what I have read, this is based on an old Russian folktale of some kind. So, yeah, that's the entire reason I went with this over Sputnik, which, I'm regretting that. So, yes, that's why it's like a mermaid. It's because it is supposed to be based on an old Russian folktale. And yeah, this does tie into like old Russian stuff because there's a moment in which they find out the origin of the mermaid, which I guess I'll go ahead and spoil that for you because it doesn't really matter. Like this is not going to take away from your enjoyment of the film, but they end up getting like a flashback and seeing things from the mermaid's eyes when she was alive. And it's a long time ago. I cannot like gauge when it happened. But she is engaged to someone and she's saying like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then the next cut, she's walking into this room where he's having a wedding now with someone else. And she's freaking out. And the bride, in the flattest tone of the film, just tells him like, you need to leave. In just this tone, you're making a scene. It's just like, oh man, nobody in this village even takes this lady seriously. But yeah, so she ends up murdering some folks. She dies. She gets
buried at sea, at the lake.
She gets buried at the lake, but then the dam broke at one point and she got like swept under like her grave.
Like basically like they say according to the movie, people who take their own lives don't get an official burial. They get buried next to the lake or something like that.
That's what it was. And then the dam broke, so then the water rose, and so their grave is underneath the water. So that is their very roundabout way of calling this a mermaid. She's buried under the water. But there are moments which you actually see like her face turn into like, it turns into like an anglerfish.
Yeah, honestly. And that makes sense considering she's like luring.
I didn't think about that. Smart. That was our thumbnail for this one. So.
Really, it wasn't the... No.
Oh, that's probably it. Hold on, let's get it together like. Okay. That's the hardest part of doing this is coming up with a thumbnail every single week and finding the correct screen cap where it's like, oh, there's a good expression there, but one of us is closing our eyes. Fuck. So, all right, there we go. Yeah, this thing. So I mentioned that her face occasionally turns into an anglerfish. We should talk about that right now. So many goddamn jump scares in here. So many. Think of the most jump scare heavy movie you've ever watched. This one probably has more. It's a competitor for the most I've ever seen.
Like, there was one scene that I knew was going to be a jump scare, and I still jumped from it.
I have been watching horror films with you for like 15 years now at this point, and I have never seen you jump at a jump scare. And when that happened, I saw you out of the corner of my eye. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's the first time I've ever seen you do that. It was so shocking.
The scene is, like, Marina is, like, leaning over, like, a bathtub. And I knew, like, the mermaid was going to come up.
Like, the comb was in the bottom of the
Yes, the comb. And I knew, like, there was going to be a scene where, like, the mermaid's hand would come up, pull her under. But the thing is, it happened so fast that it took me by surprise.
Yes, understandable. It's like, you motherfuckers, I see it coming. I know it's, you there was another one like that earlier this week where I was like, I know it's coming, you fucking, come on now. Oh, it's Terrified. That was it. Oh, wow. I cannot think of a better contrast between how to shoot horrifying scenes and how not to than these two films. But yeah, so I guess from this point on, it's just spoiler talk after this.
I guess. Is it really much of a spoilers?
There's some spoiler stuff at the end of this. But yeah, we'll just wrap this up right now by saying, like, this film, wow, it's corny, but I will say this, it's fun to riff on it.
Yeah. I
have seen films that are equally as bad, but they weren't nearly as entertaining for the mere fact that I couldn't talk shit about them as much. So yeah, this one, it's a good MST3K film, but I ain't gonna say it's good for anything other than that. Also, this thing wraps up. Like, there is no scene after all the things that happen at the end of this to be like, oh wow, so that just happened. Like, there's no like resolution scene. It is, they defeat the monster, and then there's a shot of them going off into the sunset, and just film's over. It's like, no, the things that happened right before that need to be talked about.
Kind of like a Universal monster movie.
Yeah, kind of. That had an excuse. It was early in the age of filmmaking back then. It's like, no, now we know. We know how to make a film. I know
this is actually a remake of Creature from the Black Lagoon. Ooh, no.
I kind of do have a thought, like, one of these years I want to do like a week of sea monster films. Just because it's like, yeah, the Creature from the Black Lagoon has a huge fan base, but does not get enough representation. Like, werewolves are everywhere, Draculas are everywhere. Nobody makes fish monster movies, despite the fact that there are so many people out there that like the creatures. So yeah, you could argue that this would fit into that category, but I'm not watching this again.
No.
Nope. I guess, yeah, all right, let's give our scores. I'm going D+ on this, because it ain't good. But I can't go below that, because I still enjoy laughing at this thing. So yeah, I'll go D+ on this. What are you going to give
I'm going to go C- because it's under the sea.
All right, fair enough. I'll give you that one. We got some Little Mermaid reference in here. But yeah, all right, spoiler time on this one. They're at the cabin. What's her face? The mermaid comes up and then starts, what's happening exactly in here? Marina is trying to do the ceremony to contact the mermaid. And then the mermaid comes up and attacks Ilya, who's guarding the door.
Like, even like before that, it's like, oh, we need to know the mermaid's name to make this ritual actually work.
Yes.
So Iliad is the one who like dives underwater to see, and that's where you see all the gravestones and tombstones and everything.
Which I will say, that's a good visual.
Yes.
That's actually pretty cool seeing gravestones underwater.
And then you see like the dead people popping out.
And you see Jason Voorhees just floating at the bottom of the lake there. There's a crossover. Oh man, actually Jason Voorhees versus Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'd like to see that. So Ilya does have kind of like a contact with the mermaid first by seeing the graves. So the mermaid does then appear to him, and he immediately just falls in love with her, and he then disappears throughout the rest of this film.
No, that's okay. He doesn't have a loved one to care about, so whatever.
Nobody's even that bothered by the fact that they know he's gone now.
He was an asshole anyhow. Like,
that's the thing, is that we keep saying he's the asshole because he has attitude, but the dude did like go out there to try and help his friend. He swam under the water to find it. It's like, man, this dude did not deserve this.
No.
I know we're joking about him being an asshole, but it's like, damn, none of y'all even gonna be like, oh my god, my friend is dead. Like, no one acknowledges that.
I don't think they have the personality to do it.
That would involve emoting. Yes. So, what am I trying to say here? Yes. Then they try and escape in the car. It starts raining because, of course, there's water everywhere. The car gets, I do not know if this is the term they use in Russia, because nobody said it. And it's like, if it was the term they used in Russia, I know they would have said. That's the level that this film was at. The engine gets flooded.
And then the car literally gets flooded.
Yeah, it literally starts filling up with water on the inside because the mermaid appears and like puts a curse on the car to like fill it up with water or something. Then they're able to get out of there, but then the brother passes out. And then Marina is coming to him, and then somebody knocks her out, and we don't know who. Then it's revealed back at the cabin, the sister knocked her out because the sister is now going to try and conduct the ceremony.
Yes, Olga, Roma's older sister.
Yes.
And basically she says, I know how what the mermaid wants is like in order to Mom saved Dad by sacrificing herself.
We learned that from the dad when they went to visit because Olga asked what happened to Mom.
We also saw it in like the very beginning.
But the kids don't know that's what.
Yeah, but
the dad did not grow up going, your mother died because she sacrificed herself protecting me from a mermaid.
No, she said like she drowned.
Yes.
That's all he said. But like even if they don't explain to the kids, they explain to the audience, it's like, well, you kind of just gave away the ending.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
Olga learns that, okay, her mom, the reason why the mermaid left the dad alone is because the mom sacrificed herself. So now she's going to try and sacrifice Marina to the mermaid so that her brother can be saved. Which I will say is a twist. I didn't see that coming. Olga seemed like the cool older sister throughout all this. I was like, all right.
But like, and then again, when you realize all the shit she had to go through, like what she saw her dad go through, she's like, I don't want.
Also, her mom died.
Yes.
I will say this: we're joking about the ages in here, but yeah, when you think about their ages, the son was probably like just born, like a baby.
So probably he didn't even know his mom.
She had to have been a teen by then. She would have had a connection with the mom at least. So okay, so that's understandable. You can see that. But yeah, so she's trying to sacrifice her to the mermaid. Then the mermaid appears and just drags the sister under. Well, okay, first off, the brother shows up. He convinces the sister to not sacrifice her. And then after the sister turns good again, the mermaid pops up and drags her underwater, which I would say dragging someone underwater in a basement where like the water's probably like that high and they still disappear under is like, okay, that's pretty good. Like, I like that. That's kind of good.
And like the father returns and he's like, no.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I was like, someone else gets dragged under the water, but it wasn't Ilya.
No.
And there's only 5 people in this movie. Who else was it?
Like the father comes back to the cabin. He's like, no, it doesn't work like that. They have to sacrifice themselves willingly.
Yes.
So-
and then, yeah, man, think about how much it must suck for their mom because their mom sacrificed themselves to save her husband. He still spent years obsessed with the mermaid. And then when he comes there, he sees the mermaid and he's just going up, I never stopped loving you. And then she grabs him and drags him under the water and he disappears forever.
So like basically he sacrificed himself, but not because he was being selfless, but because he was being selfish.
He still just wanted the mermaid.
Yes.
He still just wanted that fish poon. So yeah, he was just obsessed with it after all these years. And yeah, I keep thinking like, so the mom sacrificed herself so that way the dad could have like a couple more years before dying himself. I'm like, man, should just let that man go. Should just let the waters take him. Oh my God.
But yeah, now that the mermaid got the dad, the couple are okay and they're the only survivors and they just drive off to...
I'm going to be real with you. I don't even remember how this film ends. Like, how did they defeat the mermaid?
Like, oh, no, wait, now I remember.
Olga gets dragged under, and then now I remember. Yes, okay. Holy shit, how did both of us forget that? What the shit? Oh my God.
Like, so apparently the mermaid's power comes from her hair, and that's why she accidentally leaves her comb behind.
Yeah, okay, all right, that's established
and that's why they originally thought she wanted the comb back. Like, oh, bring me my lover and I'll give you back what's yours.
Yeah, they think if they give her the comb, then she leaves the guy
Then
alone.
they're like, oh, no, that's not it. She needs a human and everything, but...
She just wants the guy. She doesn't care about her comb.
Yeah, but
like,
during, like, one of the struggles with the mermaid, like... Was it Marina who ripped out her hair, or...
I do not remember.
But, like, someone
did.
ripped out the mermaid's hair, and she starts screaming in pain, and that's when they realize, oh, that is her weakness. So, basically, Marina, or is it
Which has
Roma?
Roma
Roma was the one who cut the I think he was the one who fought her and the one who cut her hair so the mermaid will like die and never torment anyone ever again.
Yeah. And then...
But, like, the mermaid was disguised as Marina.
Then Marina appears, says, do you love me? And
that's how he knows it was the mermaid in disguise.
And which there is a nice scene. I'll give him this. There is another nice scene there in which it's when Marina's trying to do the ritual to banish the mermaid, and Roma goes in there and finds her in there. And then all of a sudden, the mermaid makes copies of Marina all over the place, and they're all, like, saying, do you love me? And then he looks through all of them and he pinpoints the one that's the real Marina. And it's like, all right, that's a nice scene. I'll say that. And it does tie back in here to the end when he rescues Marina from the water. And then she says, do you love me? And he immediately recognizes it's not her. It's like, okay, again, I know I'm shit-talking a lot on this film, but there are occasionally things in there that's like, you set that up. All right, good job in there. Mm-hmm. Also, I'll say, like, this ties back into Russian folktales and stuff, and I keep looking at it, like, how the hell is hair tied? It's like, it's probably a reference to the folktale. It's like, all right, I won't judge that too much because it's probably a reference to the story.
I was, like, thinking, like, Samson from the Bible, like, he gets his strength from his hair.
But he's not a mermaid.
No, that's true, but I'm just saying, like, the getting their strength from their hair thing it seems like a thing in folklore and everything.
It's been around, so. Yeah, and then of course you go into like Rapunzel and stuff, obviously. But yeah, so he then cuts the hair, turns into the like fish girl like leaves the body of Marina and she's rescued, and then they just silently get into the car and drive away. Credits. It's like. So no conversation about how your dad, sister, and friend all just died there or anything. No conversation about what you went through. No, not even gonna do like the cheesy final scare where like you're filling up the tub and then you stare into it and then just wonders like, is it really safe? Anything like that. It's like, no, movie done.
I think that basically describes us. Basically, we're done.
We're
so done. And I think that it basically describes the characters in this movie.
They're just like I'm out.
It's like. Maybe.
Check is cash. Hooray.
It's like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. Yes.
Like, I have so many Russian jokes I want to make right now, but I don't know what's culturally appropriate, so I'm not gonna say shit. Not gonna say anything right now. All right. Wow. Weird to think that this is the film that maybe just going, I'm done. It's wow.
And we're done with International Week, so.
Yes, but we're not done with bad films yet, because we were going to do John Carpenter Week as the final, like, full week theme. Because the, like, final 5 days of this, Halloween, we're just going to watch whatever we feel like watching. We might even do double reviews, because there's a couple things I want to fit in this year. But for the final theme week, I wanted to do John Carpenter Week. Because I was like, he's got 7 horror films I can immediately name. We can absolutely do that. Pay tribute to the master of horror out there himself. But after watching this, I was like, man, this is schlock, but I need some fun schlock.
Yeah.
So, the final theme week is going to be Schlocktober. It's going to be just the corniest, cheesiest horror films that we can name, and ones that are just fun. Some I've never seen, so we're going to check them out for the first time, but some old favorites. Some like, just that good old comfort junk food horror. So coming up tomorrow, Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we love Chopping Mall. Bye, everybody.
Bye.